Scrolling through those expensive retail sites, now we all know the pain of needing a fresh kit but seeing those crazy high prices. Well, there's a smarter way to support your team. Welcome to okjersey.com. The quality speaks for itself. Look at the detail on these designs, whether it's the latest from Manchester City or a classic City kit. You can get any jersey in every size you need, and yes, you can fully customise it with your name, your number, or your favourite legends details, from the Premier League present to EPL retro. If you're looking for it, it's here, and it's always for the best price. Ready to save big? Head to okjersey.com now and use code NAF at checkout. That's code NAF to score an extra 8% off your entire order. Cheers!
Good morning and welcome back to We Are the South Stands. Apologies to everyone for no show yesterday morning. I know we do usually do a Monday morning show, but I was otherwise occupied, so couldn't do it yesterday. But we are here now. Firstly, shout out the sponsors, OK Jerseys. Make sure you go and check them out for your best jerseys directly from the factory, old and new. So just because we're two-thirds of the way through the season, doesn't mean you have to get a this season kit. You can go on there and get one from last season, the season before, or even when Alan was a kid. Hey, they've got kits from that far back.
Cheeky bastard.
And well, listen, you want to be the one that messages me and says, I was at Anfield in 81. No problem. If you were at Anfield in 81, then you can own the fact that you knew about kits before me, because you're older than me.
Yeah, listen, mate. I was at Anfield when we beat Liverpool.
Fucking that ain't happening this weekend, is it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, and it was a back heeler that scored the winner at the near post, because I was in the away end. It was great.
Lovely.
The Scouse bastards get beat.
Yeah, it's nice seeing them get beat at Anfield. Only happened twice in my life.
I was there for the Anelka one as well.
Twice in my life, 94 and was it 2004?
I was there for the Anelka one as well.
Twice. It was 94. Oh, sorry, no, it was 2004. Sorry, it was 94.
Yep.
No, it was 2004, and then it was
81.
Right, 81.
And then when COVID was on.
Alonso, and then COVID. That's it. The 3 times. Mad, innit? Absolutely
was it
mad.
one later on in the 80s? I think the one 3-1.
Well, that might have been it. So we went through it. Myself and LB went through it, and we counted that we've played them 39 times since 81. 39 times, and we've won 3 times in total.
Yeah, it was. I remember the pitch was awful in 81 at the time.
So, which one's there more of a chance of? Us winning the league? What's there more chance of? Us winning the league or us beating Liverpool at Anfield?
I wouldn't bet neither.
Neither.
Yeah, but people, please make sure you're smashing the like button. Haven't been on to you lot enough about that, and so the likes on the video just dropped down a little bit. So please, can I just ask you really kindly, so that I don't have to keep asking, if you could like the video? Really does help the channel. It means that right now, and literally right now, if you don't get a certain number of likes in the first 10 minutes of a video, then YouTube's like, oh, people don't like this. So please, that's why it's really important to get the likes up early now. Then it'll get pushed out to other people, and then hopefully it will continue like that. Right, but we have a lot to talk about from the Tottenham game. And Andrew, sum it up for me, please.
You can't swear. You can't swear.
Yeah, you can swear.
Went to the local pub. Obviously, there was a few rags in the place after their game previously.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. That's what's making this even worse as well, isn't it?
They stole another victory. Fulham shafted again at Old Trafford. But it didn't, I don't really. But then it came to our game. They started to sort of leave at half time whenever we were actually playing quite well, 2-0 up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Spurs are absolute garbage. But in the back of my head, 2-0, I just do not trust this team.
Right. There we go.
It's
Spot on.
it's the 45-minute FC. This is really, really doing my head in.
Do you know what? It's as well. It's when we concede a goal, we look so, and that's been a consistent from last season. And I hate to say it, but it's like I remember saying last season that when a lorry, it takes a lot to stop a lorry, right? A lorry, once a lorry's built up the momentum and that lorry driver's worked through all the gears, it takes a lot to stop a lorry. And that's what City were for, 8-9 years? Yeah. And last season, that lorry got ground to a halt. And now we have to work back through these gears. And I did say one of the hardest things for us to get through is going to be how much that mentally bruised us last season, right? And I just feel like, because in games where we don't, as an example, we weren't great in the second half against Wolves, but we didn't concede one, right? So we were okay, right? The minute we concede one goal, and that was Tottenham, right? I mean, like you said, that first half, the first half, right? We're 2-0 up, and I'll openly say Tottenham looked like a team that had down tools, right? Yeah, that first half performance, it looked like a group of players that were not playing with each other. And as for their fans, mate, their fans from minute one were nervous. And then the second half is just completely different. And we're going to get into the conversation later, Jay. I can see you're saying 2-0 at halftime, keep going, don't blame players to blame. Sunday's not on Pep. Do you know what? I don't know if I speak to you on Instagram, Jay, right? But if I do, this is exact, because I've had a lot of people commenting on my video, going on about Pep, right? And by the way, let me be very clear with this. There's certainly things that Pep has done this season, right, that I maybe haven't liked. Leverkusen game is a great example, and there's been times where maybe hasn't been reactionary quick enough. And I will also say there is an element of, all right, maybe Pep could have made subs earlier, maybe, but ultimately for me, if we are 2-0 up against a team who's down tools, right, I don't believe Sunday was on Pep. 2-0 up at half-time against a team like Tottenham and how Tottenham have played, the players should be able to get that over the line, right? I don't believe the conceding of 2 goals is on Pep, the way people are, that's the main thing I've seen. I must admit, what I've seen in the last couple of days is I've seen Pep to blame, I've seen Rodri to blame, and I've seen Haaland to blame.
Yeah.
They seem to be the 3 names that are doing the rounds at the moment.
Well, I don't think Rodri's anywhere close to being at it at the minute. He was quite fortunate not to be sent off. He just doesn't seem fully fit. The tackles are a wee bit late. He's getting frustrated. I understand, when he had to do the CDM role and on his own, basically, in Bodø, Glimt and Old Trafford. He should always have had Silva beside him, who I thought Silva in the first half was good.
Again, that's why I just said, I don't get why people straight away go to Bernardo Silva. I don't think Bernardo was necessarily the problem. I don't think Bernardo Silva's the reason that we conceded 2 goals against Tottenham.
No. I was just coming out of the toilet at the time, having a half-time piss, and just at the time the ball was going in the net for the first goal, and I looked at it and says, well, that'll go to VAR, it'll be disallowed. You could clearly see that Solanke kicks Gahey's leg, which then deflects the ball in. I mean, if it's the other way around, that's a penalty.
Yeah.
But I'm not you can't use that as an excuse for what happened.
No,
for
agreed.
the next 45 minutes. You know,
I think you're right. I think it should. The goal shouldn't have been given. It's similar to the Doku foul. I do think that was a foul on Doku, and potentially, although old school me is saying, do you know what? As he got out of the way, just give him a yellow. That probably should have been a red. There was the disallowed goal. There's been so many decisions this season that, for me, have gone against us. However, in previous seasons, when I've had Arsenal fans moan about things go against decisions going against them, I always say to them, listen, the mark of champions is that you just keep going, right? And no matter what decisions might not go your way, if you want to win a game, you just keep fucking going and keep going and keep going. And I hate to say it, but at the moment, our mentality has shifted massively. Alan, what was your take from?
Well, I've had a chance to calm down from Sunday because I was very angry on Sunday night, Monday morning, as it was for me. And I thought about, why is it that the last 8 weeks, or pretty much all season, to be fair, I said to Martin and a few people, I said to you, that we're in the transition and we're in the middle of a rebuild. We're in the middle of a rebuild. Okay. Yep. I've done my research.
You did. You're right. You really did say that towards the start of the season. You're very adamant. We have to remember this is a rebuild.
Now, I want people to hear me out and just
go on.
Rather than react, listen. Right?
I'm going to put my mic up here.
Right now, in the last 12 months, we've got 14 new players in the squad. Right. I'll go through them very quickly. Granted, 2 of them are keepers. We've got Donnarumma, Trafford, Antnori, Echeverry, Gayu, Kovacic, Cherky, Nico Gonzalez, Nunes. Can't count still because he's playing fullback, because he is. It's a different position for him. O'Reilly, Reinders, who's coming to the right. O'Reilly has come into the side from the juniors and playing every week. Reinders, Savio, Semenyo, and I would put Mamouche in that thing as well. All right.
And you could put. I don't think. Did you mention Kuzanov?
No.
That's Kuzanov as well.
Right. Kuzanov. I put Kuzanov in there as well.
Oh, right,
so 14 players there. And only 1, 2, 3 players of that 14 have ever won a trophy, one trophy, right? That's all they've won, all right? Wow. Not necessarily for City, but for teams they've come from. The rest of them have never won a trophy or won a league in their lives. So they don't know how to win week in, week out, week in, week out. They've not got the mentality of playing for a club with a mentality of you've got to win. Okay? So they're not used to that. So that's going to take time for them to get to that level, of get to that mentality. It doesn't happen in 5 minutes, all right? Now, on the other side, we've got 9 players of the squad that have been with us for a few years that have won trophies and won leagues, all right? That is Ake, Diaz, Guardiola, Stones, Doku, Foden, Rodri, Kovacic, who's been injured all year, right? You could put Nunes in there if you wanted to. Silva and Haaland. Okay? So they have got the mentality of winning game in, game out, game in, game out, game. We are not. I've just proven to everybody that the 14 players that we've got there who have not got used to that mentality. Now, over the last, I would say, 10 weeks, we've been playing well for 45 minutes, 60 minutes, and not playing well for 90 minutes, or just playing shit, right? Okay, and throwing away 2 goal leads. Also, Pep Pep's won 7 league titles. Okay, European Cup, Super Cup, all these things, World Club Cup with us. Playing in the mentality, and he's shown us he plays the short passing game. Possession based, short pass. The reason why he plays the short passes is we don't lose the ball, we don't give it away. Okay? And all of a sudden, in these last 12 months, he's now playing long balls. Okay? We're not keeping the ball and playing possession-based football. And people say, yeah, it's boring. It wins fucking trophies.
Sorry. So what you're saying there, are you kind of... No, hold on, Al, because you've just made 2 points and I want to know if they're aligned or if that was just a kind of, you're putting a statement out there, but it doesn't really tell me anything.
2 points. He's proven he's playing the short passing game that he used to play.
What's your point? What's your point on that bit?
Well, when you play the long balls, you risk.
No. I'm aware. But are you moving? So, just to recap so far, then you can keep going if you want. But what you're saying is, firstly, I think the first point you made is ultimately we must remember that this is a completely new group of players, predominantly.
Correct.
Hold on. Secondly, your second point is that this is a group of players who do not have experience of winning things, right?
Correct.
And your third point is that we are now playing a style of football that Pep has never had success with.
Correct.
So why are we changing to it?
Correct.
Is it because of the resources? And that's what we have to do with the resources because we don't have the resources.
Correct. I would like your opinion on what I've just said, all of them.
I mean, Andrew,
I think the way I don't trust City playing out from the back at the minute. It looks to me like Pep's first season when the group of players just basically they were learning something new. Now it took them a year to do it, and then from the following season it was working perfectly. But these players don't seem comfortable doing it. Yeah. Now I don't know whether
isn't that because
hold on. I need to fact check you quickly. Did you say they've only won 3 trophies?
No.
Only three of them have won trophies.
Correct.
Right. So Donnarumma.
Yeah.
Gahey.
Yeah.
Pretty certain. Didn't AC Milan win something last season?
Right.
No, they didn't. Reinders was the third one.
Yeah. You could put O'Reilly if you wanted to, but he's only been played properly.
Yeah. So you're saying out the players that we bought, right? Okay, no, I was just trying to. So yeah, fair point. So look,
I just personally think.
Do you think
you have got a point? You have got a point by saying it looked like Pep's first season when the players weren't used to playing the way he wanted them to play.
Well, yeah. I also think Pep's first season as well that we didn't have the resource. This is where I think, right. This is where the plot thickens a little bit because I agree. Pep first season he didn't have the resources he wanted, and the players were going to take some time to get him back to the playing out from the back, right. Because they hadn't done that.
They had to get used to it.
So players that had been there already and with the right resources had to get used to it. And we also had a lot of the wrong resources. So we had to get rid of them and get in the resources that play the football that Pep plays. Okay, so now we fast forward to where we are. We have just brought in 15 new players, right? Now, I would hope that and Pep had an involvement in those 15 new players. So are we saying that we've purchased people that don't play the way Pep plays? Or are we saying they don't yet play how Pep plays? So this season's transition?
Yeah, the latter.
Right.
Yeah, at the end of the day, when we bought players at City, and when Pep came in, it took them 12 months to get used to playing the short passing game, possession-based, positional play, which Pep likes, right? Because none of them had experience. Apart from Yaya, he was the only one that had experience playing Barcelona way.
Yeah.
He was the only one. right?
But do you think there's a potential chance though that maybe the club or Viana then have bought players this time, not based on what Pep needs, but based on what they think and based on what they want moving forward?
If you go through those players, there's not many that couldn't play the way Pep plays, because they're all pretty good on the ball.
Yeah.
Right. So it's going to take time, because Pep shouts at them when they've not got the ball. A lot of them are out of position.
Yeah.
They get caught. Right.
Yeah.
Which reminds me of the first season, like he's just said about pieces. It reminds me of the first season when they were going through us big time.
Yeah, but I mean, ultimately,
do you hear where I'm coming from? I'm trying to support the team,
but
because it's all right blaming. I saw Jay have a complete meltdown on LB on his own show about Haaland, right?
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah, I mean, as to what? Do you know what the thing is? For me, like, you can have a meltdown about Haaland, right? You could, as far as for me, right? You can say. Firstly, the kind of, if we've just basically thrown a title race, which for me, that was it. That was our last chance. Right?
I personally think
the Haaland celebrating with the Tottenham. Well, not celebrating. Haaland even smiling with the. I don't like seeing that. I'm not going to lie.
No, I didn't like seeing that. What I will say to you is, I said at the start of the season it's going to take time, and I still think that. I think people. We're expecting, after the money we spent, we're expecting a title charge this year, right?
Yeah.
First year in. I think it was unrealistic.
Okay, you do. But, however, I'm going to be completely... And, by the way, I'm Pep in. I am not a Pep outer. I'm just trying to be... Hold on. Let me just... You've just said that, like, it's going to take time. But as a Pep inner... I have to look at Pep and say, but bro, you told us you expected very big things this season. Pep has repeatedly told us that he thinks this group is going to do something special this season, right? So I understand that Alan, Daps and Andrew think X, Y and Z. But if our leader is telling us, guys, I'm around this group of players every day and this group of players, I expect big things. I think we're right to go, well, okay, if the gaffer's saying that, then fair enough. He must be seeing things we're not seeing.
I think the cup competitions is the potential. And that includes
no way. When Pep Guardiola says, I think this group of players are going to do something special this season, I don't believe he's thinking about the cups.
Well,
maybe the Champions League, but he's certainly not thinking about the FA and the Carabao Cup.
Well, that's one thing. I got Daps.
I would
at this point. Jesus Christ, I would at this point. Yeah.
He's brought in 14 new players. How the fuck? And a lot of them are not used to winning every week.
I agree, but Pep told us that this group of players, so we can't kind of say we were all wrong for fucking getting carried away.
Hang on. He's not going to turn around and say, this play stuff.
No. Again, we have watched enough Pep Guardiola interviews, right? We've watched them for 9 or 10 years now, right? Pep Guardiola will only say things he wants to say, right? No one can make Pep say anything he doesn't want to say. The reason why 115, him coming out, was because in the past when asked about things, he used to just say, not for me to talk about, right? But when he decided to come out against 115, he came out. I think if Pep's saying, I think we can achieve a lot with this group of players, I think as a fan base, fair enough that we also think, well, if Pep's saying it, I do believe it. I do hear what you're saying, Alan, and you did say at the start. But, yeah, I think... You look at.
Listen,
I'm not a Pep. But my question is, do you think some of these players? Do you? Yeah, and same with me. I'm just saying, when you're saying that we all got carried away, well, Pep did as well, right? It wasn't just us lot. It was Pep. Pep himself got carried away. Now, obviously, there's a lot of. Do you think? Do you think any of the players? Do you think there's rumours, like these rumours that Pep might leave in the summer? Do you think, and apparently I read this morning that people inside the club kind of they thought he was only going to sign a year extension. So when he signed a 2-year extension, it surprised them a bit, and that they are starting to look elsewhere. Do you think, one, there's people in the club that think Pep might go? Or two, do you think there's people in the club that might be thinking maybe now's time for us to initiate the conversation with Pep? Do you think either of those could be true?
Personally, no. I don't listen to anything that the media have to say anyway. I haven't listened to the radio.
Listen, I've heard it from people that I know that work at the club, right? That Pep, the word might or could.
But he always uses that though. That's a problem with Pep.
But I will say this: Pep's not going to come out and say, "I'm going."
Yeah, no. Yeah, of course he isn't. Until he knows 100%. Yeah,
correct. So it's people assuming, right, that he may go. Are the club looking around, keeping their eyes open and planning for the future? Of course they are. They'd be stupid not to, right? Right? And there's candidates that we all think, yeah, possibly I would look at him because he is probably close to leaving and staying, right? Yeah. But at the end of the day, he's had a few personal issues, we know, with his wife that he's upset about. Which
now he's moved on from that, though. He's moved on from that. That was done nearly a year ago.
He tried to get back with it, didn't he? At the end of the day.
No, hold on. I heard they were back together.
No, they split up again.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. I thought they were back together.
At the end of the day, he's got personal issues. He's got personal issues. I fully understand that. But there's no way City are going to sack him because if he's getting 24 million a year, that means City would have to pay him out for his final year of 24 million, which they won't do.
I think they would. I think there's a chance they would do. You know, I think if they think it's right for the club, I think. Look, I'll be honest with you. I don't. No. Hold on. There will never be a day that Pep Guardiola is sacked, right? And there shouldn't be. As far as I'm concerned, there shouldn't be. However, you can initiate conversations with somebody about if it's the right thing for them and you to do, right?
I think City would be having chats with him, asking like, "What is your mid to long term plans here?" If he says, "I'm going to see out my contract," that's fair enough. Would you envisage extending that? That's a yes or a no. If it's a no, then they can start making preliminary inquiries as to who might be available at that time. There's not going to be any announcement during the course of a season, be it this season or next season.
Absolutely correct.
It'll be in the summer whenever the season's over. We saw what happened.
I think maybe just before. If it's because the thing is,
question.
I don't hold on one second. I don't believe he will be leaving. Right, sorry. I don't believe Pep will be getting sacked, right, at any point. No, I think it would have to be a mutual it has to be a mutual agreement. Now, if it was a mutual agreement, I think we would know by the end of the season. I don't think it will be necessarily like anytime soon because I think there's a long way to go. We are still in currently 4 competitions. And so certainly no. And I think that also, by the way, just to be clear, I think that's the right decision. And no way should Manchester City be switching to an interim or getting a rush decision in pre-season. Has to be the summer. But I think after and I also think this is out of how much love and respect we should all have for Pep Guardiola. If a decision was made between the club and him that it was the right time for him to leave in the summer, I think he deserves to have that final farewell on the last day of the season. I think Pep cannot be a season ends, then we find out and none of us actually get to say goodbye to him. And I know we're talking from a footballing point of view, but from a fan's point of view, it's bigger than that. Like, we have to that final goodbye to Pep.
Let's just say, thanks to Pep Guardiola and the ownership, and they put us on. He's put us on the world map, not
facts.
just on the map,
And
the world map,
and given us some of the best memories of our lives.
Oh, yeah.
I never thought in the 70s and 80s that I would see what I've seen.
Yeah,
And the Premier Leagues and the Champions League, that we'd the treble and all these things. I never thought I'd ever see that as a City fan.
Now, what we've achieved under him is not a one-off. It's we've done, even before the 4P, we retained it under Pep, right? So we retained it under Pep with the 100-point season, domestic treble, normal treble, 4P. Yeah. He's repeatedly given us memories that no one else in football, like, there's only how many teams in world football that can talk about ever doing a treble?
Well, it was United.
No, there's more than that. There are other teams in Europe.
Well, teams.
Oh, sorry, Europe.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, as a group of fans, we're in a very elite, higher level. Yeah, there's probably about 6, 7, 8 clubs that could maximum that have.
Real Madrid's never done it.
So exactly. So for us to we never dreamed of any of this. So he deserves that. Now, it is a conversation for me. Right now.
I will say this, Caps.
Sorry,
I will say this.
Yeah, go on.
The performance against Spurs was pathetic.
No, absolutely. And this is where I will, because for people saying, oh, that's all on Pep. Now, if you're 2-0 up, and I remember saying in the Club World Cup, I think when we were 4-1 up or something, or 3-1 up or something, right, saying, if you're 2 or 3 goals up, yeah, and you have a group of players like Manchester City have, whatever happens at halftime, yeah, the players should be able to see that over the line, right? So I'm not like, all right, could Pep have made some changes earlier? Maybe, but also the players have to take some accountability on that pitch as well. And especially when it's a repeat thing. Like, we have to, even if we go back, remember the Fulham game where we were something like, what was it, 4-1 up or something at one point, and like,
just drops off a cliff.
It's this repeat thing that this group of players, even the Feyenoord game, to be 3-0 up. I know it was last season, but be 3-0 up and allow them back in to 3-0. There's so many times you could say
PSG was the same.
Yeah, there's any amount.
There's so many times that we have had 2-goal lead. Like, we used to think we had a 1-goal lead, but we crumbled.
Do you know what I mentioned? I mentioned that when we went playing the long ball, we kept losing the ball and getting transitioned all the time, right? Yeah. So, like, example, Tottenham at the weekend went 4 at the back and put another man in midfield, and suddenly the only outlet we had was a long ball, and we kept coming back and kept coming back, and all of a sudden we were in trouble.
Do you know who I think changed the game? And he was quality against us in the first game as well. When at half-time they brought in that Sarr.
Yeah.
And that Sarr...
He destroyed the midfield.
He just shuts the midfield up. The midfield up. He did it in the first game. He's an absolute press monster. I think he came in. He changed the game. But also,
why are we playing this long ball shit? It doesn't work.
Right. So why we're playing it, and that's what I was trying to.
It works for the team against a team that play a high press.
Yeah, but the problem is, but not many teams do. But the problem is, Alan, with what you're saying as well, is that it's all well and good saying, the Pep style works. The Pep style works with the right players, right? We don't have those players. We have a different group of players. And with this group of players, we have gone for, as an example, let me just speak on Semenyo quickly and Haaland, right? Yep. Now, I am concerned with Haaland. I'm concerned a bit with Haaland's body language. I'm concerned a bit with his clinicalness. I did have someone try saying to me that Haaland might be carrying a bit of an injury, but I haven't seen that anywhere, so I don't know if they were clutching at straws there. But I am a bit worried by Haaland's recent form. However, to his defence, against Tottenham, I actually quite liked some of the, not the goal scoring and not the clinicalness, but I actually quite liked some of Haaland's build-up play, right? Haaland was actually laying the ball off to Semenyo quite a lot. Now, here's the thing with Semenyo. I actually wrote this down at half-time, right? That people need to realise that Semenyo is not the same as Doku, right? That Semenyo... He's not a dribbler at all. Semenyo is not going to be his man. That's not his game. His game is being clinical in the box. So in Haaland's defence, a few times, Haaland was laying the ball off to Semenyo in good place, good positions, right? But then Semenyo wasn't really doing too much with it, if I'm being honest. I know he scored, and we've got to give him credit for scoring, but he wasn't doing much with the ball. Now, I also actually saw that in midweek against... who did we play in midweek? Against Galatasaray. They actually Haaland fouled Marmoush a few times, and Marmoush didn't do enough with it. So I don't want to completely... I'm not coming to Haaland's defence, but at the same time, I do feel like a lot of people often ask Haaland needs to do more off the ball. Haaland does more off the ball, and then it's, but he's not scoring. And it's like, all right, which one are we wanting him to do? Be the creator or the goal scorer? Because it's very difficult to be both. Do you think we're missing? Because I've started to... Someone asked a question, when did our form change, right? Do you think our form changes in line with when Doku is not available? Because I'm starting to look at it thinking, is Doku really, really fucking important to this team at the moment?
He's important to the team whenever he's playing a bit further inside.
Because why? Do you know why? Why? Because he's a ball carrier.
Yeah.
And we haven't got ball carriers.
When he's on the line, all he does is push the ball past the defender, beats him for pace, gets the ball, and then he's looking for something. And by that stage, there's two defenders on him.
Yeah.
Whenever he's getting the ball inside, he's running straight at goal. There's someone on the left backs on the outside or whatever it is, someone in the middle, and he can either run on into the box, get a possible penalty, or find someone and that's where his output comes from. Putting him out, it's like putting Semenyo out in the right wing. May as well not be there.
Yeah, I agree. I just think it's the ball. Like, of course, Doku going forward and Doku beating his man on the right-hand side, that's all well and good. But I actually think if you look, like Kovacic, for me, last season and the season before that, for me, City's two of City's best ball carriers are Kovacic and Grealish. And Grealish, right? Now, Grealish...
I'll be honest with you now. I know people...
And Vardiol, actually. Vardiol's pretty damn good as a ball carrier. Yeah. And the other one, the last one, John Stones as well, when he steps forward.
Yeah. I said when last year, when Grealish did play, he usually played really well. And then he wouldn't see him for about 10 games.
Yeah. I'm only... And by the way, last season, I was saying we need ball carriers. We don't have... Because...
Keep the ball.
I think Grealish would have been perfect for this team at the minute.
Yeah. And last season, I was screaming it, Grealish in the middle of the park. We miss ball carriers so badly. Players that can... And that's where I think when we miss Doku, that I'm not even meaning Doku going forward. The way Doku drops...
Keep the ball, don't give it away.
And
how many times do we give it away? How many times do we give it away weekend? Yeah. We've been doing it for weeks and weeks now.
And I must say... If we're talking about ball carriers, right, if you remove Kovacic from it, you remove Doku from it, who's probably one of our... And remove the fact Stones isn't the same anymore and is injured all the time, and Vardiol's injured. Another good ball carrier, and this is why he probably plays so much, is Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva is another one that is difficult to get the ball off of. And sometimes we need these players. Now, I think we have to put a bit of context in there. Not on the Tottenham game, right? But I do feel like our momentum was absolutely smashed in half when we... because we have to remember, we beat Forest, right?
Just,
but we beat Forest, yeah? We beat Forest. Then we were beating Chelsea, right? And then... Ruben Diaz and Vardy got injured. Okay. Also, round about the same time, Gonzalez got injured. Yeah. Nunes, of course, had the flu or whatever was wrong with him. And O'Reilly looked like a player that for the last 18 months has played most of our games. So I do think there's context to it. And the minute you take out that defence, now it's been since before the Bodø game, bro. It's been it's been with the concerns have been there.
When we lost Guardiola,
man.
It reminded me of the Rodri injury against Arsenal a couple of years ago. When he went off and we found out that he had a broken bone, leg, whatever it was, that was, to me, that was season defining.
Yeah, club announcements. When it's a club announcement, not you find out in a presser, when it's an actual club announcement on their website, you know, fuck, this is important. But I do think there's context to that, because it's hard to build any house without the foundations, and the foundations is always your defence, especially when you're a City team.
But at the end of the day, mate, building the foundations, we've brought 14 players in the last 12 months.
Yeah. Sorry,
what do you expect to happen?
Just address this. Why are we still talking about covering 2026? Chelsea let that man go for a reason. Listen, I don't know who you are. I haven't seen your name before. But I'm talking about Kovacic because it is a reason that we miss his style of play, right? I'm talking about style of play. Just because you sound like an agenda merchant. You've heard me say Kovacic, so jump on an agenda. If you listen to what I said, I was talking about the style of play that certain players bring. Now, Kovacic, whether you like it or not, Kovacic, for the last since we've bought him, Kovacic has been Manchester City's most reliable ball carrier, yeah? I'm not saying our most reliable player, although I actually do think in his first 2 seasons, Kovacic was one of our better players, but he is a ball carrier. Without Kovacic, we miss him. Doku is and Gonzalez and Rodri, they're not ball carriers, right? They're not. That's not their style of play at all. So then Grealish was a ball carrier, and that's why last season I was screaming, play Grealish through the middle. If we've got nothing else, play him through the middle, right? Style of play. What, bro? So this is your response. Style of play, my ass. What style of play? If you don't recognise that there's different styles of play and ball carrying is one of them, I'm not going to put you back up on the screen because you are an agenda merchant. So thanks for confirming that. Please like the video. But no, I think this is where. And actually, do you know who probably is a bit of a ball carrier? Anderson. Right, maybe that's why we really do need an Anderson, because at the moment, like the lad's got a point. Hold on, Timsy, I'm not responding. Daps, you didn't beat Sunderland with your strongest back line. What's the excuse, bro? After that Forest game, bro, we drew 0-0 with Sunderland. We didn't concede against Sunderland, right? I'm not making excuses, but our defense has definitely looked worse without Diaz and Vardy. That's the point I'm making. We didn't beat Sunderland because Sunderland at home are a very good team, and Sunderland potentially deserved to win that game because we didn't create fuck all. So the problem there was creating. But I think we need a ball carrier badly. We really need a ball carrier. But I'm going to get back to what I put in the title. I'm going to be honest with you. I think this all comes down to mentality, and I think at the moment, because LB asked me a question last week, right? And my initial answer was I don't think we are good enough.
No.
He said, do you see a group of players, a squad of players that's good enough to win the league?
No.
And I sat there thinking for a bit, and I said, at this point, I don't. And then he said, what? Fully fit, on form. And I said, all right, if we're talking fully fit, you're bringing back Rodri fully fit and on form. You're turning Rodri's form round because his form's not great at the moment. You're bringing Diaz back. You're bringing Vardy back. You're making everyone fully fit. Yeah, of course, right? But I'm a realistic. That isn't football. And whatever's going on there, this is on Pep. The players' mentality is a big concern. And that's on Pep Guardiola. Simple and short.
I think a lot of it's confidence too. They know what's going on throughout the season. They can go a goal or two up. The City teams have 4 years ago, that was the game put to bed. Opponents gave up. They just sort of says, right, we'll get out of Dodge here with a 1 or 2 goal defeat and be happy, move on. Now, teams at half time, like Spurs on Sunday, Thomas Frankel have said to them, listen, you have been shite first half, but this team here are vulnerable. They cannot, there's any amount of examples of giving up leads this season. Go out there, get right into them from the start and see where it takes you, because they'll crumble. And sure, shooting, that's exactly what happened. Now, I don't blame Pep as much at the start of the second half, because he can only react to something when the time is to react. He didn't know what way Spurs were going to be in the second half. Now, unfortunately, within 3 minutes, they scored. And that's where I have an issue with Pep, because he left. Now, we didn't have that much on the bench, to be honest. But how Marmoush is only coming on at 93 minutes.
That is criminal. Like, especially with, I reckon, from what, Andrew, would you say from about the 65th minute, you could tell Haaland didn't score in today.
No.
You could just tell. Sometimes there's games where you can just tell whatever happens, he's not scoring today. Like, and that was it for me. It got to a point where I actually said, I don't is Marmoush injured or something? Like, why is he not? Why is Marmoush not on the pitch yet? And that confused me. By the way, Timsy, calling someone a melon.
Can I just say something about Marmoush?
Just one thing quickly, Timsy. Daps, come on, be respectful to each other. What's the names thing, bro? Me calling someone a melon is not, bro. I'm not. It's not an insult. And by the way, if you take melon as an insult, it's not meant as an insult. Being called a melon is the least insulting thing I think in the world. Although I don't actually like melons, but anyway. Sorry, carry on.
No, I read somewhere or heard somewhere that the amount of minutes Marmoush has played. Now, granted, he was away at AFCON and stuff, but he's played fewer minutes than Oscar Bob. There was, I think it was LB actually, or was it Nobbins? He came off with a list. He came off with a list of his appearances this season, and I think 16 minutes was the most he played.
Yeah,
a lot of them were 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 1 minute. Blah blah blah. And Marmoush is capable. He's frustrating as well, but he's capable of doing something that Haaland's not capable of. Yeah. If the ball comes to him 25 yards out, he'll have a shot.
And that was the thing. Like, this is a thing in football. When substitutions are made, right? And then something happens and you're like, fuck, we shouldn't have. I mean, Cherky looked like he had a bit of a knock, so he had to come off. But the minute Tottenham scored their second, it was like, fuck, we ain't got Cherky on the pitch now. And I'll be honest with you, I was thinking, right, we need someone that, like, all right, Marmoush's first touch. I know people will talk about Marmoush's first touch, but Marmoush will come on with energy. He'll press and he will shoot from outside of the area, right? And the fact that the 93rd minute, that is on Pep. Yeah. I do think also a manager's job is not just about tactics. A manager's job is also about making the players play for you, right? And making your players have the confidence for when they make a mistake or whatever to lift their head back up, right? And keep going. And at the moment, there does seem to be an issue that Pep's struggling to get these players to perform for 90 minutes, game in, game out. So,
well, that's clear. But I mean, also, I don't know what the issue is with Foden. He seems to have lost his confidence again, but he's also not playing where he should be playing when he does come on. And I don't think that's helping him either.
No, it probably won't be helping him, no.
No,
he's playing too deep.
Yes, exactly. That's not his game. And because we're sort of we're limited with who we can put on and what have you. But, someone said Bernardo went over to Pep after about 75 minutes and said, I'm blown out in the arse here. You need to get Foden on. And he didn't do it until sort of, I don't know what time Foden came on at, but
yeah.
By that time, we were playing 50-yard balls to Haaland.
Yeah,
and we weren't retaining the ball. We were losing it, and we looked vulnerable as hell.
Yeah, and it's the same as last season. I remember when Foden's form dropped last season, and it's like Pep kept trying to play him back into form, and it's like you can't really play someone back into form when the rest of the team's form has dropped. So right now, bringing on Foden with 20 minutes to go, right, when we don't look like the most confident team is, for me, it's not, again, probably not the right move. But what are the other options? Were the other options Rico Lewis? Because I'd still rather Foden on the Foden, or would I? Actually, the one thing with Rico, I would say, is Rico sometimes can get the ball to Haaland quite quickly. But
I think at that stage, Rico wouldn't have made any difference because Spurs were on the up. Spurs were really the only team that were going to win the game at that point. They probably would have done only for Donnarumma making a couple of saves.
Donnarumma is the one person that's probably coming out of this last month with his head held high, right?
Yeah.
But Donnarumma's putting some absolute, and I think we'd be in a worse place without Donnarumma.
I think everyone's got to accept we've got to be patient. I'm sorry, but we have to be.
Yeah.
Including Pep.
Yeah.
But Pep needs to be patient. But so do you two think, by the way, I think we all agree Pep is not going anywhere until the summer at the absolute earliest, right?
Well, I'll be honest with you this. Pep won't be sacked. I think Pep will be here till the end of his contract.
What?
Yeah.
So
because
summer 2020. Summer 2027, yeah?
Yeah. Until Pep comes out and says it, you can think and could and might and this and that till the cows come home. He ain't leaving the club in a pile of shit.
No, I don't think he'll leave
in the middle of a rebuild. No way is he going to go out that way. No way.
What? So you think he'll be in next season? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so both of you think the same. Okay.
The only reason I'll say he might go at the end of the summer is if he is having problems with his marriage. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, look,
I don't think he'll leave. I don't think he'll leave until he wins something big again.
Yeah. Look, I personally think if you look at last season, it was very clear that Pep was going through something off the pitch, right?
Of course he is. Yeah. Of course
No. Last season. This season, he does not look like a man that is distressed from anything off the pitch. Pep looks fine. So Pep, all his interviews are fine. All you have to do is go and look at Pep over the 9 years. Look at him last year. It was very obvious, there's something going on there. This season, Pep's, if there is anything going on, it seems mutual, under control. So I don't think that would be the reason for him to be stressed, but it could be a reason that in the summer, maybe he goes, do you know what?
Can I just interrupt there?
Yeah, go on.
There's something's just come up on my phone. Live score. Pep likely to leave this summer. Now, I haven't read it. I've just seen the headline. But so that's sort of an example of the usual sort of...
Yeah. But that's, it's one or two out. I mean, a journalist comes out in the morning and kind of says... Because I think what I've seen is that City have a shortlist, right? In case Pep does leave. Now... The minute that comes out, other journals will be taking it, twisting it, and next minute it's Pep's likely to leave. But I do think there is a lift there. I do think how the rest of the season goes is probably very, very relevant. And it could be relevant in both ways. I mean, I don't feel that we are going to win the Champions League. I don't think we're close to being of a level to win the Champions League.
We're not good enough, mate. We're not good enough as a squad. We're not good enough.
So okay.
Well, the only thing I would say, I think we have a better chance of winning the Champions League than the league.
Yeah,
because it's a cup competition.
Plus, when we get to the later stages, God willing, the Diaz's will be back up in form.
Yeah.
You know, we'll have one or two players back. You know,
I think Diaz and Gahey are going to make a great partnership as well. By the way, I think Gahey.
I agree with you.
But what I was going to say is that if we won the Champions League this season, or if we did a cup double, or if we won something this season, is what I'm trying to say.
I think the League Cup's vital.
Could Pep then say, all right, I'm going out still as a winner. I've won something this season. Now it's time for me to move on. Do you think maybe if we won something, or alternatively, if we won nothing, does he think? So I think a decision won't be made until a lot closer to the end of the season, where we actually know what we're in for. Because I get it right now. In fact, do you know what, people? 3 years ago when we won the treble, we didn't start hitting form until later than this.
Yeah, I agree.
We didn't start hitting form. We lost to Tottenham away the day before 1-1-5, and I think that was round about like the 12th of February or something like that, right? So it is right. So, by the way, I'm not saying we're about to do that, but what I'm saying is it is still way too early to be making decisions until we see a bit more. But are we both, where are you two guys with this title race?
It's over.
Done for you.
Well, I said last week that we needed 6 points from the 2 games.
Yeah.
If we were going to draw one of the games, you know, draw at Anfield, providing we'd beat the Spurs, you could live with a draw at Anfield, because then we would have still only been 6 points behind. But I just can't see a world where even in an average Liverpool team up against an average City team at Anfield is going to be anything other than... I can just see it. You know, we'll probably score first, maybe go into half-time 1-0 up, and in my heart I'm thinking we may as well be 2-0 down, you know, because we all know what's going to happen in the second half.
And the players will be... And that's where I'm talking about the mentality, that this worrying mentality that we know that if Liverpool score 1 goal,
we don't keep the ball well enough, mate. We don't. To win the league, we've got to keep the ball. I'm sorry, but we have to keep the ball. And we don't keep the ball. We don't keep it.
Better teams than this City team have gone there. Yeah. And they just, you know, there's a myth about Anfield that it's this holy grail and what have you. It's not really. There's far worse teams than City have gone there and took the piss out of Liverpool. You know, once you get ahead like Forest did, who ended up winning 3-0, Anfield's is like a church. You know, it's quiet as a mouse. You know,
but this is the problem.
They can turn as quickly in their own team as any other fans.
Oh, 100%. The problem is that I can't see... Like, I'll be honest with you. The first half performance against Tottenham, that could get us maybe 1-0 up against Liverpool, right? Yeah. 1-0 up against Liverpool at Anfield will not be enough. Because in the second... Because at some point... I don't know. If I was looking at that first half against Tottenham, I'd say, yeah, we can go to Anfield and get something. But... because I have been watching Liverpool, and Liverpool, despite the fact that they've started to put some results together, they're not looking great. Liverpool are not looking good. I came out of that Newcastle game thinking if Newcastle were a bit more clinical, Newcastle could have won that game, right? They ended up losing it, right? But that second half performance, Anfield is the type of place that will swallow that second half performance up, right? Yeah. Simple and short. That performance in that second half is an absolute fucking nightmare for a ground like Anfield, right? Yeah. Because Liverpool will get 1 goal and that's it. We will fold, right? We have to get over that. Now, Ruben Diaz coming in.
It's a possibility he'll be fit for it. Whether he's played or not is another matter, but...
Yeah. Well, I mean, one thing to talk on as well is, just quickly... I don't know if you guys have seen, you might have seen it in the chat or you might have seen it before, but whereas Semenyo is able to play against Newcastle again, Mark Gahey is not able to play tonight.
Why?
it's one. So basically, the signing had to have been done in time for the first leg. So he won't.
If we got to the final, can he play?
No, same thing. Won't be able to play in the final either. So I can't see Diaz being rushed back.
I thought the League Cup you could play for more than one team in the tournament.
You can. But it's to do with it's to do with the timing of when you join the second club or something. It's just been confirmed this morning that Gahey won't be able to play. And that's semi-final or final. So Gahey will not be featuring tonight, which means, you know what, it's probably back to a Ake and Kuzanov. Or will Max come back in? I don't know. But yeah, Gahey won't be playing. How are you lot feeling about tomorrow night's game?
Oh, we're 2-0 up, which says it all. But only this time we've got 90 minutes to fuck it up as opposed to 45. You know, I'm still thinking we'll get through. But I think it'll be a squeaky bum night. You know, if Newcastle get the first goal, they've only scored 3 goals at the Etihad.
Yeah.
You know, since we moved to the Etihad. But
yeah,
I just don't trust them. You know, and that's the really.
Do you know it's a strange? I remember going into the Newcastle home game last season, right, and actually being a little bit worried. And that was the game where Marmoush got a hat trick.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. Like you said, it's one of those ones where it kind of shows you where we are at the moment, and that we're kind of 2-0 up against a team that scored twice in 9 years at the Etihad.
How are Newcastle going to adapt? You know, what's their attitude going to be? You know, are they going to write it off, or are they going to say, we'll go for it for 45 minutes, see where it takes us?
I think they'll go for it for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Now there's two ways that could go. We
if
could hit them
we can hit them on the break. Yeah, I mean, we could score another couple. But
for me, I play Semenyo and I play Marmoush in this game. And again, if we soak up Newcastle, because Newcastle will go for it, soak it up, whack them on the counter, and see if Marmoush and Semenyo can get some luck that way. But we are worried going into it, right? Because we go out of this and all of a sudden, I mean, I know we're still in the FA Cup, still in the Champions League. For me, by the way, the only way that the mad thing is that there is true. If this was any other team, if this was a title race with Liverpool back, 6-7 years ago, I would have said 100%, nothing's going to, we're out of this. The only thing you do have for it, until Arsenal get it over the line, it is all right, but Arsenal don't know how to get it over the line. But at this point, I'll be honest with you, I don't think this is the same Manchester City mentality that we had back then. So business end of the season, Manchester City, at the moment, needs to be proven to us, right? We don't know that we're the same team.
We've discussed that tonight, giving evidence against that.
Yeah. So
at the end of the day, the game against Newcastle, yes, we're worried. Depends on if City keep the ball or they don't. If they start going long, see you later, City. They're out.
Yeah.
I think it would have to take a pretty horrific performance, worse than we've seen lately.
Well, they're capable of it, though, mate. They're capable of that.
Yeah. You know, right. Couple of super chat. Real big apologies, Spartacus. I want to get you back on again soon, Spartacus. Long ball only works against high lines who press in a zonal pattern. We can't get out from a man-to-man press since day one. The no extra man is an issue.
That's what Spurs did in the second half.
It's actually what Galatasaray tried in the second half, but we managed to bypass that, right?
Yep.
And because you have to do the man-to-man pressing well. If teams man-to-man press Manchester City and you do it well, we're bad at it. And Ederson probably doesn't help that as well. The fact that, Donnarumma isn't Ederson. But I actually think Donnarumma with his feet this season, I can't lie, he hasn't done anything to worry me with his feet at all. So, but yeah, appreciate that. And Mark, been a member for 5 months, appreciate that a lot. This is going to redirect over to Never a Foul, where unfortunately I'm going to have to talk about Pep all over again with a load of rivals this time. But for me at the moment, if we just, I guess we can end it this way. For me, we have to get behind, like, people. We have to continue to get behind Pep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even if Pep is going in the summer, right? The one thing for me is that if Pep does make a decision, or the club makes a decision for the good of the club in the summer, right, then I don't want Pep's last 3-4 months at this club to be like, to take anything away. Like we need to be chanting Pep's name and making him feel loved, just for the fact that he fucking deserves it for what he's done for us. Now, Pep outers, listen, I honestly do believe, by the way, and my belief is that Viana, Khaldoon, will do what is right for the club in the summer.
Listen, the only Pep out, you only get Pep outers online.
Yeah.
The ones that don't go to the games.
And people, I'm not trying to change people's opinions about whether they're Pep in or out, by the way. I'm just saying that it would be good that if Pep does decide to go, or if the board decide it's the right thing, right, then we need to give him a good send-off. Because I'm telling you now, like, whether you supported City for 4 years or you supported City for 40 years, right, you would never have got to have seen domestic trebles, the normal treble, a 4-peat, 100 points, all of these amazing things. None of us would have got to see without that man, right? So let's send him off and make sure that, because I can't lie, I still have a bit of a sour taste in the way that Kyle Walker left the football club, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And people, before you start talking about him windmilling on Deansgate or anything like that, right? I'm talking about as a footballer, what Kyle Walker did for our football club as well. We did not win a trophy till Kyle Walker, Edison, and Bernardo Silva arrived at this football club. Under Pep. We didn't win until them lot got there. The minute they got there, the shifts they put in, and again, Bernardo's another one. I don't want Bernardo to go out on a bad. The way, do you know what, Jay? The way Edison left, the way some of our legends, when you're talking about, and these are people that did the domestic treble, the European treble, 100 points, and a 4-peat, right? No other football club correct me if I'm wrong. 5 trophies. There's no other fucking football club, that can talk like that, That period that Pep, and let's be clear, this is not since we got taken over in 2008. This is the Pep era we're talking about, right? What we have achieved in that Pep era, no other fan base can fucking talk about. None, right? There's no one in the Premier League that can talk about a dominance like we can, right? Factually, no one's done a 4-peat. No one but us have done it, and that's down to fucking Pep. So there's no way that it should be Pep out, Pep out, Pep out, Pep out, Pep out, Pep out till the end of the fucking season, right? That needs to stop. Just please have trust in Viana, have trust in Khaldoon, that in the summer, they will do what's right for the club. And I'm not asking anyone to change their opinions, right? It's just, please, you don't have to bombard your opinion on everyone every single day. Of course, if you want to, you can do. Create your own YouTube channel, right? And then do it over there. But please, I get bored of doing a video like about the Tottenham game, and then someone will comment, Rico Lewis needs to get out of our club. And it's like, it didn't even fucking touch pitch. Why are we doing this? Let's just drop the agendas and just stop being reactionary, man. Be respectful, because, bro, what
all I'll say is have respect for what Pep's done, total respect, okay, and support the team, support Pep, support the players. Because trust me, 15 years' time, we'll look back at these days and be thankful.
I'm already thinking, when I'm seeing people saying, we should get rid of Pep and we should bring this manager in or that manager in.
They don't know what they're talking about.
In a couple of years' time,
Idiots. It's not FIFA.
In a couple of years' time, we could be here going, fucking hell, I miss that Pep era. Right? Now,
exactly.
that being said, just because of that era, that doesn't mean that era must continue, right?
Yeah.
But I repeat, and I've said this before, when people have said to me, who's important at Manchester City, the most important man at Manchester City is, for me, the most important man at Manchester City is the man that controls the whole machine. Yeah. Of course, it's a Sheikh because it's his dough, but it's Khaldoon. And I do trust that Khaldoon, and I've seen everything I need to know. The way he reacted to our poor performance last season, in January last season, to go out straight away and try and fill the holes that we had. Again, he did it in the summer. Again, we did it in January. I know that this football club, and this man at the top, Khaldoon, and the levels that he strives to hit, we will be back, whether it's with Pep or without Pep. We must trust the board will make the right decision. Right. On that note, we're going to redirect over. Thank you very much, both of you, for joining me.
No problem. See you next week.
Well, I think we had a good discussion today as well.
Can I just say, the fans get behind the team as hard as it is. I mean, I fly over most weekend games, and it's hard work, but get behind them as much as you can. Fill the seats, and give the players everything that we can give them, because the fans are the club.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you know what? I just missed this. Foggy. Sorry, he gifted 5 memberships. Sorry, I thought it said you'd been a member for 5 months. Shout out, Mark. Massive appreciation for that. Thank you very much. So five members.
Foggy.
Be well, on that note, let's hope that I will be back tomorrow morning. Let's hope we get a result against Newcastle. And then, hey, listen, the positive is we're going to get another day out at Wembley. Hopefully we'll get another hot day at the Green Man. Hopefully the Green Man. I prefer the Green Man. But we get another day out at Wembley. But we've got to get that over the line and then on to Anfield at the weekend. It's going to be a difficult one, but we're here for it, people. This is football. And on that note, we are out.